Hey everybody, Danielle Rogers here, aka Mama D. Welcome to day 16 of Inspirational Minutes. As I was thinking about today's video, I like to share stories about my life because some people think that, oh my goodness, she just has it all together. No, I don't. No, I don't. I've gone through pain, disappointments, just like everyone else. I just chose years ago to no longer serve the victim's mentality that I so possessed for so many years. But Jamar's 35, so 33 years ago, I gave birth to a little girl, and she was born dead. I It was my first marriage and everything was shaky, and that birth of that beautiful baby was definitely the only good thing out of that marriage. But I went through devastation. I didn't know. I was really young. Not 21-ish, I want to say. 20 or 21. I was really young. And I remember having a knowing that this was the right time for that death to take place. I just knew it, even in my young age. I actually felt spirit tell me that she was dead while she was still in my womb. The doctors were searching for the heartbeat, and they did an ultrasound, and I felt a big drop. I knew something was wrong. And I said, she's dead, isn't it? And, oh, don't say that. And back then, they definitely didn't tell you if it was a boy or girl. And don't say it's a girl. We don't want you disappointed. But then I kept going to doctor to doctor. This was all within one visit. And finally, the chief of whomever he was of the hospital had to come and tell me that they were 99% sure that the baby was dead. But then they said something interesting. But you have 3 weeks left before she is due. So you can go home and you'll go into labor all by yourself. I'm like, no, I'm not going home with a dead baby in my body. And I would not leave. I would not leave. I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. And so I cried. I had some time alone. I cried, and I cried out to who I know as God. And I said, you showed me that she was dead. Can you help a sister out a little bit? Can we go into labor or something? And they wouldn't induce labor for some strange reason. They're like, no, it's better for her just to get in position to come down. And I wasn't feeling any of that. Well, I'm here to tell you, about an hour or two later, I went into labor all by myself. And I didn't do anything. I prayed. I believe in prayer. And so, but my point is, she was gone. I gave birth to a beautiful, beautiful little girl, and I just knew that good things were in store for me. I just felt it. Of course, that marriage ended in divorce. Wrong person, wrong time, wrong mindset. My mindset was way off. And it was just my son and me again. And we relocated to LA. And then I met my other baby daddy, which was my second husband, who gave me my beautiful little girl, who you all know, Michelle Traylor. And that was, many years later. But my point was, what I felt was lost was totally restored in my other daughter. Do I think about her? I even named her name is Janae. I love her dearly. Even when Jamar was little, he said, I asked God to say hi to Janae for me. Because we know that she's living. She's just in the non-physical realm. But what we perceive sometimes as loss, it's not necessarily lost. I needed out of that marriage. I didn't need anything holding me to the crazy that I signed up for. And I felt that that was my way out. And then I ended up getting another blessing. There's always restoration if you will allow it. If you will allow it. If you remember, we talked before about focusing. If you focus on the loss, you focus on the lack, you're not allowing restoration to take place in your heart and in your life. Restoration is yours. You know what? I went to dictionary.com and looked up one of the definitions for restoration, and it says restitution of something taken away or lost. That's for all of us. And there's a scripture in the Old Testament. I sort of hung on to this scripture too. And it says, I, talking about spirit, God, will restore to you the years the locusts have eaten. So restoration is ours. We don't have to dwell in the shoulda, woulda, couldas, in the heartaches and the pain. And I'm not saying there's not a time and place for that. There is a time to mourn. There's a time to get help. If you need to visit a counselor and get through that. I'm not diminishing that at all. I'm saying don't get stuck there. Don't get stuck in the, I'm lost. How, now what? Now what? I don't understand. Why me? Why me? Why me? Instead, allow forgiveness to flow. I had to forgive that first husband. I had to forgive myself for even entering into that union that I knew was going to be a mess. I also had to allow healing to take place in my heart and in my body, to allow myself to open up again for a positive relationship. And then last but definitely not least, I had to allow joy. If you mourn and you stay in that state of mourning and depression and defeat, you are blocking your joy. Think on the things that bring you joy, and slowly but surely you'll see that nothing was ever lost. It may have been delayed, but your blessings, your miracles, what you are destined for, nothing can stop that. You hear me? Nothing but you. So will you get out of the way? Will you allow healing and joy and forgiveness to flow through you, so your restoration can come to you? I like that. Let it flow to you so it can come to you. I'm out. I love you guys. Peace out. Thank you for joining.